right, welcome to another episode of TFC True Fans Chat. My name is Michael. Here we have Ede and Carl with me, and here we're going to be talking about everything that's related to Toronto FC.
Exactly.
Yeah. So recently, well, today basically topics include who Toronto played with. Um, that's basically Columbus. That was on Saturday. Disappointing game. We'll talk about it, and then the upcoming game tomorrow against Tigres. All right, so Columbus. As we all know, they ended the game 2-zip. Toronto led in 2 goals, and yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on it? What are your takeaways? What did you find that was lacking?
I think a big thing in this game was the chemistry. We
Mm-hmm.
had two new guys, right? Vanderweel and Akeche, and pretty much that whole right side was just left kind of exposed because they didn't really, I don't know, mesh together, in my opinion. Akeche, he's great at attacking, but he seemed to kind of lack in the defensive work rate, in my opinion. And that's a big piece for this game.
Yeah, yeah, and it's always difficult though because like they're not used to playing with each other, so it's kind of um, it was a good, I guess, first uh, you know opportunity for them to play with each other because I feel like well that's Vanny did mention that in one of his press conferences that it was important for them to kind of uh, have that chemistry, and so that kind of game was kind of, I guess, their sort of attempt to do that. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I found that the game was kind of it was kind of clumsy on Toronto's part in terms of like
Yeah,
passing and crosses.
yeah. I think a lot of the passes didn't connect. Yeah, a lot of the passes didn't go to the, player that they wanted it to go to.
Hmm.
And yeah, and Columbus definitely put a lot of pressure on the players. And yeah, um, Toronto was just, I don't know, really unlucky with the defense that game because like both goals could have been avoided if they marked their players properly. And yeah,
Hmm.
especially that second goal. That second goal, I don't know what Mavinga was doing. He was probably just daydreaming when Zardes scored. I'm like, that is an easy ball to clear, you know.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, he couldn't. He just didn't get there enough, and Zardes got the pace against him.
Yeah, they
See,
definitely. Sorry, yeah.
I think that Toronto plays a lot better defensively with three on the back, obviously. Because in this game, it seemed like Bradley was really dropping in deep, and that kind of left a gap in the midfield where it was hard to get out of our own end when they kept up that pressure.
Yeah.
Aside from that, the chemistry between Vanderweel and um,
Okay.
I think Mavinga was playing on that side.
Yeah.
Um, there's still that kind of a gap in that area where the roles weren't super clear, or just the chemistry, I guess. So,
Yeah, it's true.
uh,
And I think that was also Vanderveel's first game with the team, right? I
yeah,
Yeah.
for
believe.
sure.
Yeah, his first.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it seems like it was not like a practice for tomorrow's game, but more of a kind of get people to get people clicking together. And sure,
Yeah.
maybe they could have clicked better, but I
Hmm.
mean, it's early in the season. Last year we started off like first six
Quality.
six
Yeah.
games, it's like 5 draws, one loss, I
Yeah.
believe, or something like that, or one win. So honestly, for me, it's not like a panic moment, really.
No, not at all. And you want to get as much playtime as you can, obviously, especially with the Champions League games coming up, just to see how the new players fit in. I
Yeah.
feel Auro, he clicked very well, very quick with
Oh
that
yeah.
right back
Yeah.
position.
Hmm.
Yeah.
With some of these other guys, maybe it'll just take a little bit more time as well, but they definitely have potential.
Hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
So here I wanted to show you guys a clip from there. So there was this moment when Toronto's down 2-0 and Osorio has the ball. I catch it, passes it to him, and Osorio's in the box and it's going to freeze frame about right here. And Osorio just about to shoot. Right before he shoots, you have Akeche, who's actually, you can see him asking for the ball. He has his hands out. And you have Giovinco also in a good position. Passing to any of those players, and I feel that Osorio would have a better, Toronto had a better chance of scoring. Just because Osorio is kind of in an awkward, I guess it's like a tighter angle, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's unfortunate that he went for it.
He did the same in the first MLS finals that Toronto was in against Seattle in the first time. Yeah, when he had the ball in the box and then he could have passed in the ball, he shot and the shot was wide. So I guess it's just something that I don't know. I think he's trying to score more this season. He's trying to shoot more, and at the same time, he has to, with shooting more, that means he's gonna have to sacrifice passing to the open man, and or maybe he didn't see both of them. I mean, I mean, if someone is yelling at you in the field, I'm pretty sure you will hear them. But like, maybe he just thought he was in a better position to score than the others.
Right. See, I get what you're saying, where you're reflecting on should have, could have, but what I find generally, that a lot of these players, especially new guys, seem kind of timid to shoot. We just keep passing and passing even when there's an open shot. So I'd say, sure, maybe the shot wasn't the best one, but I feel like any shot on target is better than no shot on target. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
That is, yeah, I agree. But there was that one moment where Akeche had a pretty good opportunity, like when he hit the post. I feel like he just want to have a crack at it, right?
Yeah.
But you have a good point about Auro, because there was that moment about Auro where it was like almost okay. I can't really say open net because when you look at it here, it's a pretty tight angle, right? What do you think? Do you think he could have? What would you think? What would you guys think he should have done?
Sorry. Go ahead, Kyle.
Just blast it. That's what I think. See, I'm not sure though. Maybe he was trying to just shoot, but it ended up hitting the wrong part of his foot or something. I don't know. How about you, Eddie? What do you think?
I think at that point, at that position, it's kind of difficult to get a good shot in. And especially with the way the ball was moving. I mean, maybe he didn't control the ball well at first, and if he didn't control the ball well at first, then he can't really get a clean shot in. So he was probably just thinking, hey, the goalie is out of position. There's an empty net. There are Toronto players in the box. Cross it in and hope someone will get it. So I'm guessing maybe he did think about shooting, but at the same time he thought it would be a better option to pass it.
And when you look back, yeah, and when you do look back at the replay, it seems pretty clear that he's going for that pass. And to be honest, it's actually a pretty good pass. Maybe a bit bouncy, and you can see as you go slowly through it. Altidore, he technically fans on it. He takes a swing at it. He misses and he goes to the ground. I'm sorry, but part of that fault for that not being a goal is on Altidore. I'm not saying it's totally his fault, but which brings me to my next what I want to ask you guys. Who do you think is your worst and best player? And right off the bat, that's my segue is Altidore was my worst player of the night. There's a lot of people that could have gotten that, but I think it was Altidore. Just the accumulated number of errors. He's just not. I mean, he's good. I like him. He's been great for us in the playoffs, but I guess hasn't clicked yet. Some bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's early in the season. He's a little bit, probably just getting off vacation mode, and he's a little bit slow on the ball. But I think he's gonna step up, during when the season gets more intense, and Yeah, in that game, I would say he didn't play well. He was a bit like, yeah,
Not his
he
best.
didn't play well. Yeah.
Yeah. And what about you, Carl? Who do you think was who had the worst appearance against?
It, it's tough because obviously it wasn't a good day for TFC. A lot of the players were not playing well. So without the door, he just wasn't really present. He did have a few chances, but obviously didn't make the best of them. But I'd say probably Vanderweel had a rough game. He didn't
Oh
seem
yeah.
confident. He left big gaps in the defense, and I don't know. I get that he just had a baby. It's his first game.
True.
There's lots of factors, but I feel like he might have had his weaker game starting
Mm-hmm.
And
off.
you would expect, like, with his experience playing in Europe, and he would have,
Yeah,
done a better job at that position, right?
yeah, yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
But that said, huge potential still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only see him going up.
What about
Yeah.
best?
What
Who
do
do
you think, Mike? Start.
for me, I think a lot of people would disagree with me, but Auro was for me the best. I don't know what like because when he got subbed on, right after that, there was like an extra amount of intensity that TFC had. They were attacking more. I don't know if it was the fact that he put on, but it just something changed, and maybe it was the fact that whoever got off, I forget who it was. So it's been a while, so maybe I think it was Delgado, maybe. Um,
Was it
yeah,
Zavaleta that started the game? Zavaleta started the game, so he was probably the one taken off.
yeah,
No, he actually put Aro in the midfield, which was a bit of a weird choice because Aro likes to play more along the side, along the
yeah,
wing.
Yeah.
So that kind of left the midfield exposed, in my opinion, and I felt like he didn't really know his position.
yeah. It was funny though, because I remember when I was watching the game, he was still warming up, like when he was subbed on, like on the field, like you can see he was stretching or something, jumping around, and then all of a sudden
Right.
the ball came to him, so he had like no time to kind of
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe he wasn't ready, but um,
Yeah.
he wasn't warmed up or something. But I think he was pretty good.
I, I think putting him on wasn't so much a tactical move as a game time move,
Right,
where they just wanted to get players as much time on the ball with the team as possible. That's
right,
all.
fair
Yeah.
enough.
I think a little bit of Greg's Vanny's tactics in the game also kind of affected the way the scoreline ended.
No,
You
for
know,
sure. Yeah.
especially like that uh yeah can't remember what I was gonna say.
You know, yeah, definitely.
Oh man.
But yeah, it was a tough loss. Um, it's nothing to worry about. So we just well, actually, Carl, did you mention who was your favorite player? I don't know.
No, um, for me, that's also kind of a tough one, but I am excited about Akeche with what he's doing with the ball, his movement up in attack. But that said, like I said, defensively, he wasn't really there. So I'd say Osorio is actually the best player in my opinion. He won the
Wow,
man of the match, and
did he
part of
actually?
it is because yeah, and he had good defensive work rate, but also went up in attack. He had that shot, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that is
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a shot right on the goalie, but whatever. I don't know.
And not
That's
not only that, in a game of high pressure, he was able to maintain possession of the ball. He was able to control the game, take his time, pick up good passes and whatnot, right? So
mhm. I'll give him
I
that.
vote as yeah.
All right. So let's go head on to our next topic, which is their tomorrow's game against Tigres, CONCACAF Champions League game. Um,
quarterfinals, man. First
yeah,
leg.
this is
Wait, yeah.
yes,
Is it quarterfinals or semifinals?
quarters. Yeah, I believe quarters. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But like this is I don't know, probably our biggest game that will be this season. Like it's man, it's scary. But what's pretty interesting, what adds kind of momentum, intensity to this game is that these two teams are the current league champions of their respective leagues. with Tigres winning their Liga MX title and TFC winning MLS. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Um, Here I have some. We can show you some. The Tigres have already landed in Toronto, starting training, and obviously it's cold in Toronto. You can see them all bundled up, and yeah. What are you guys' thoughts about that? What are you expecting for tomorrow?
I'm expecting a high-paced game. Uh, Lots of back and forth motion, football from both teams, and yeah, and I expect whoever is more hungry for the win is gonna get the victory tomorrow. And yeah, I think Toronto is gonna get a little bit of an advantage since it's weather-wise because it's cold and it's gonna be snowing, and I'm pretty sure many of those players have not really played in snowy conditions, and yeah, so
Hmm.
we might have a little bit of the advantage, if I'll say, but at the same time, I can never, I don't want to take out Tigres because they are champions of La Liga MX, and yeah, so they will definitely bring in, they will definitely be a tough team to play against tomorrow.
I'd say that Tigres actually has a bigger pressure than Toronto because Tigres is in mid-season form. They've already had 10 plus games on their belt, whereas Toronto just had three so far. Tigres has way more money, way more expensive players and whatnot. So coming into Toronto, Toronto is still the underdog. But that said, like you were talking about, the weather, the pitch, the crowd, everything comes into play. I think what Toronto will end up having to do is probably play a little bit more defensively with the counter.
Yeah,
But
Hmm.
the important thing is not to concede this game
Oh
and
yeah.
maybe come at least with some goals into their turf because that's going to be even tougher.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
Tigres is gonna try and score at least one away goal and then defend the rest of the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I think I
I
think they're
think
going to be
that's
pressing.
what I think. That's what I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
Who knows?
They could. Like I mean, they did. Washi. Yeah. So they had recently a game this past weekend, and then they have an Tigres, and they have another game actually on next weekend, this upcoming weekend. But
Yeah.
they brought. It seems like they brought their starters. They brought that one guy from Chile, Vargas, I believe, and then there's
Vargas.
Andre Pierre Gignac, a French guy. Um, those are like their star players. So they
Hmm.
definitely, I think, they want to. They're not. I guess they're not taking it lightly or something. I don't know. Maybe they just want to get it over with this game and like blow us out like 5-0 or something. But they're definitely here to win. I'll
But
tell
that
you
is a
that.
factor. Like you said, they just played on Sunday, so they might be a little bit more tired than our guys too. So there's a lot of
and they
factors
want to
that
fly too. So
and a fight. Yeah. So this next game could be tighter than you might think, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Just one thing I wanted to mention: Victor Vasquez. He before coming to Toronto, he played for Cruz Azul in Liga MX.
Okay.
Was there for his whole season. Didn't do too well. And I was just wondering what you guys thought about kind of for him. Is this a bigger game than for most other players in the fact that he has something to prove, or like it's like a redemption kind of for him. You know
I
what I'm
don't,
talking about?
I don't really, I don't know. I mean, he played there and then he played in Europe. Played. I'm pretty sure he has also played in Champions League football and also Europa League football. And I'm pretty sure there's a big difference playing those football matches than playing in the La Liga, in the MX.
Hmm.
So I don't think it's going to be anything for him to prove. I just think he's going to go into the game and think of how to help Toronto get the W.
Yeah. No doubt he's played in big games, and it it's pretty much any game he goes into. I'm sure he has the same mentality where he just wants to win. obviously it might be somewhere in the back of his mind where like, oh, these guys thought I wasn't good enough for their league or whatever. But I don't know. I think it won't affect the way he's playing or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And actually, that's a good. Actually, I guess we forgot to mention that he actually, it's still day to day with him whether he can play. Today, Vanny mentioned that he's, his treatment's finished. He's training, but he hasn't ruled. He hasn't said definitely whether he's playing or not. So
Right.
that's yet to be seen. Um, but yeah, it'll be just very interesting to see what kind of lineup the TFC is going to play against Tigres. I believe they're going to go full out with like all their star power and experience, even though maybe the chemistry's not there. I think Vanny will pick players that have more experience and those that are not that don't have such a big caliber, such as like Delgado. I don't really see him playing just because he only has like MLS experience. I think he'll go for someone that has like bigger international experience. Um, Carl, you
Okay.
had a lineup, a projected starting lineup.
Okay.
Who do you have in your top 11 starting 11?
Okay. So starting with the goalie, Bono. Obviously, he's our top goalie right now. Is who I put in.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna stick with more of a three at the back. So on the left side, he's gonna have Mavinga and Drew Moore, and I think he's gonna put Hegland in this time. I think he is on better form, and he's able to keep that back line nice and strong. On the left side, he's gonna have Morrow play, and on the right, I can see Aro coming in this game just because of how things went in the last CONCACAF game and whatnot with him back there, where he seemed to gel in pretty well. Um, in terms of midfielders, I think Vasquez should be ready to play. I highly doubt that he'll not be playing, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. So I think he'll be up there. And I would say Osorio, based on his form recently, his ability to attack and also defend, I think he's going to come into there. And up top, we're going to have Giovinco and Ricketts.
Oh,
Altidore.
oh, okay.
Altidore. No. Altidore, for sure.
That's a good one. Well, I guess I wouldn't be too. I mean, Ricketts could do well, I guess, but
Yeah.
Altidore has that physical presence, so he probably
Mhm.
Ricketts would have a tough time, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's an interesting lineup. So, like, what's interesting that I found interesting was Hagland.
Yeah.
That's I mean, he is usually uh, started more often than Zavaleta, I believe. So that's normal. Um,
Hmm.
and I guess the key player that you kind of left out there that has been added is Akeche, and
Right.
and is that in place of Osorio? Like you put Osorio in place of Akeche? Was that?
Yeah. Yeah. I think a huge part in this game is going to be the chemistry. You want to keep as much chemistry as you can, guys, knowing what role they got.
Mm-hmm.
If things are going well, I think you could throw in Eche, possibly for Vasquez actually, because they're similar players, right? And Vasquez being a little older, his energy could drop throughout the game. Throw on Akechi, you got a fresh young guy who's ready to attack, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of more my mindset of what I would do, for example. Yeah.
Okay. And
I
then
have
and
a lineup right now
yeah.
or predicted lineup. So here I have Bono in net, and then I have Morrow on the left with Drew Moore, and then I have Mavinga and Aro on the right. So I'm
Okay.
thinking he might go with four players in the back,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have Bradley in the midfield with Akeche and Osorio, and then if Vasquez is good to play tomorrow, he's in, or if not, then I was put in Delgado, but like Delgado will take in will be switched with Akeche, And then I have Altidore and Jovinko. That's
Okay.
my predicted line. Yeah.
So it's interesting. You both dropped Gregory Vanderweel.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the bench.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. He's got experience, so maybe he knows.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Based on last game, though, it seems like a risky move to experiment with him in this game. I think fair enough to try him out in the MLS again, but for now, we've seen Aro play in the Champions League, and he's been good. So that's my reasoning behind that. Right?
I think if I was the coach, I will probably just keep Vanderbilt for MLS games for now. Let him get comfortable with playing because he I mean I don't know how long he's played. Like when was the last time like he played before the last game?
Right.
And yeah, he also like he needs to get a feel for the team and build a better chemistry with the players and yeah, so that I know the CONCACAF Championship is a very important tournament. So we have to at least go with players we know will perform very well in
Right.
and the players who we know have performed under pressure before, and perform very well. So I think that if I was the coach, that's what I would do. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, we'll see what Vanny will do. Honestly, seeing how Vanny, changes up the lineup sometimes, the formation sometimes, I don't know what to
Yeah.
expect. Like for me, predicting that lineup is difficult. Sometimes he makes choices that I'm confused about, or I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and then it works.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that is true.
So hopefully he pulls it off tomorrow. So TFC plays tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at BMO Field. Very exciting. Make sure everyone watches it. And that's all for us here today. Thanks for watching in. And if you like this video, you can click the like button. You can click the subscribe button, whatever you like to do. You can comment if you want to get on the show. Let us know. You're definitely more than welcome. TFC fans are always welcome. And that's all for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.